Hello. Okay, welcome to our team call. It is October 15th, and this is our team call. We have a guest speaker, Okay, I've been practicing how to say your name. Can you say your name?
Okay.
Wait, no. No. John? Paola. Paola.
Sound it out.
No, okay, you can't tell me to sound it out. I am like...
Okay, this is how I like teach people. So say hola.
Hola. Hola.
Paola.
Paola. Paola. Okay, so like we all just know I'm like, unfortunately, like just the biggest white girl ever. So I'm sorry. I like lived in Arizona for years and I worked in a restaurant. So you think that I could be able to like do a little bit of Spanish, but I only know the bad words. So anyways, either way, I have been watching.
You can say Paula.
Paola. Been watching her and crushing on her for a long time because if you guys check out, Team Forward Fitness, the Success Club board, she is always at the top. And so when she was like, hey, anybody want to do a team call switch? I like basically virtually pushed everybody out of the way and was like, me, because I was like, I'll speak on anything you want if you can speak to our team. But she is a 2018 Premier Coach, which is like, there's Premier and Elite status, so huge freaking deal. She's a 2-star, and then she's Success Club Legend for 30 months, right? All-Star Legend?
Yeah.
All-Star Legend for 30 months. So, you guys, she's been in the business. She's been rocking it. And the biggest thing we were just talking about, if you jumped on at the beginning, is that she was able to just retire from her full-time job to coach full-time. So, not like replace her income, retire, which is so huge and amazing and inspiring. And right now she's just actually helping out her company and rocking both of it. But, eventually she will be full-time when the stars align how they should. And, we always don't know how life's going to go. And I know that so much. So she's going to talk to us about, I told her literally whatever she wants to talk about. We are here to listen. We have, our team is very, a lot of working moms, basically. Some full-time moms, but I still count that as working moms because they're hustling all day with little babies. And we just have a team with a really big heart. That's kind of who we are. We're a lot of cancers, so we say that the sign is, you're a Cancer too? Yep. So we're like really emotional and we like Voxer each other a lot or Facebook message, the voice thingy. And we get all emotional with each other. So that's our team. That's our team. And we are pushing pretty hard on the third quarter. And we are excited to hear whatever you have to tell us. And I'm just going to mute and you have the floor.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Samantha. That day that I kind of put it out there, I was like, okay, let's do it. Because I needed somebody else, and I think you always need like a fresh voice, somebody else's story to come into your team and just talk to them and see what other people are doing. Because at one point, I think you get tired of hearing of your coach. And I know my team was like, okay, like I've heard you say the same story a million times, right? But thank you guys for having me on. My name is Paola Ramirez. It says Paola Hernandez, but I got married 2 years ago. And I kind of want to just, I couldn't really think of a topic, but I will talk to you guys, kind of give you guys my backstory and really focus on how I've grown this business. I was working full-time, and it was beyond inconvenient on the way that I started growing this business. And just really talk to you guys about certain things that I did. I'll give you guys a couple of things that you could use, tangible things that you could use now and put into effect. Instagram is my jam. So I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of, different tips that you guys could use and put into place now. So you guys can definitely use the chat box and I'll check that if you guys have any questions on anything that I come up. But let's start with just really how I got started. I had no idea what Beachbody was. I had no idea that I wanted to do this as a business at all. I have been working full-time since I was 18 years old. I dropped out of college because I landed an amazing job as a recruiter. I've been a medical recruiter for 10 years. And I just I was 19 years old making, $30+ an hour. Like I was like, school is not for me. I'm already doing this. I think internally I've always been a hustler. And so money's always kind of been like my calling. And if I feel like I'm helping someone and really changing their life, then that's something that even makes me work harder. So I think that's why I really fell in love with recruitment. I started doing that. Did that for about like 2 years. And then I got married when I was 21 years old. I went through a bad divorce when I was 21 and really, really fell into depression, anxiety. 3 months after I found out I was going to go through a divorce, my mom decides to tell me that she's going to leave my dad of 22 years and that they were going to get a divorce. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You just are breaking up this white picket fence life of mine, telling me that you're also leaving my dad in the middle of my own divorce. Like I was completely shattered. I was 21 years old, living on my own, going through a divorce. My parents are going through a divorce and I just didn't see a way out. I got really depressed. I got put onto anxiety medication. I was on depression pills and I gained about 40 pounds. And I remember going through that for like about a year. I had never tried any type of weight loss supplements or anything like that because I really never had to until after this started. And so I remember trying HCG shots. I could not believe now when I think back, I was 22 years old in a bathroom at work, injecting myself with some crap that came from China, like the things that we do when we're so desperate. And I was doing that at 22 years old. After that, I met my husband now. And it all happened so fast. I mean, literally within 3 months, he was living with me. Within 4 months, I was pregnant. Like it happened so fast. And that was in 2012. I had my son in 2013. And he's going to be 5 now. And after that, I didn't gain any of the weight. I was still working full time. I was always the breadwinner in my household and in my relationship, which I feel like I don't come across that a lot. So a lot of that held me back for a long time while I was building this business because I felt like there was no cushion for me to fall over. I probably could have quit a very long time ago, but I had to match my income in order to quit because I didn't have a second plan. My husband wasn't the second plan. I was literally paying all the bills. My husband also has 2 daughters. So if you guys have bonus kids, then you understand that life. It is crazy. Your schedules are crazy. We have 50-50 custody. So our lives are insane. So I'm painting this picture of you that it wasn't conventional for me to go into this business or to even learn it. 2013 came around. I had gained another like 30 pounds at 2 years after I had my son. So 2015, I had a 2-year-old and I was 200 pounds. I had never been that big in my life. I was a size 18 in clothes. I literally didn't recognize myself anymore. And I remember walking by a mirror one day and doing a double take. And if you've ever been in that position, it is the most, I literally walked by this mirror at Target. I did a double take and I was like, this is not me. I was starting to not let my husband see me with the lights on. I was starting to not go out. I was starting to just be home. And that wasn't me either. Cancers love to be with people and be out. Like we're not homebodies. And that was beginning to be me. I was on Instagram one day and I was following this girl who would always post pictures of her kids, never post a picture of herself. And out of nowhere, one day out of the blue, she posted a before and after picture of herself. She had lost 50 pounds with 21-day fix. And I was mind blown. I was like, whatever she's doing, I will do it. I was that perfect customer that literally said yes the minute she sent me the link. And she sent me the link as a discount code. I don't know what the heck that meant, but I signed up because I was so desperate. And she told me, oh, well, you're going to get a discount on your future shake. And I was like, okay, but I'm going to cancel before the second shake comes around. So who cares? I'll just sign up. And that's literally what I did. So I signed up. But in my mindset, when I signed up, you guys, I literally said to myself, one, I didn't have money because we were living paycheck to paycheck. 3 kids under 5. We had fortune kind of happen in 2014 where we had to move to Lancaster. So if you're aware of like the LA area, maybe you're not, but it was about an hour and a half from when we were currently living and working. So in 2014, we moved an hour and a half, 75 miles from where we were working. We couldn't leave our job. We just had to move. And so I moved in with my dad, 1 bedroom. He had a 2-bedroom house. I was living in a 1-bedroom with 3 little kids and my husband, commuting 70 miles one way and 70 miles back every day. Okay. So that's what kind of brought on my anxiety again. I was on anxiety medication. My husband had no idea. We were eating fast food every day. Our lifestyle was, we were fighting every day because I had anxiety and I had anxiety attacks and I didn't want anybody talking to me. I was in a car with 3 toddlers. It was literally, I'm going to say like the worst and most frustrating time of my life at that moment. I remember when I started the program, I just wanted a way out of me feeling like that, one, because every time I talked to my doctor, he said, you need to lose weight, you need to do something. And I just was like anti it. I didn't cook. I didn't want to do any of that. I didn't want to get out of that comfort zone that I was in, but I knew that I had to. My husband was 260 pounds as well. He was smoking 2 to 3 packs of cigarettes, which he was hiding from me, and eating fast food more than I even knew that we were already eating. And I literally just remember drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm going to do this program. I don't know that it's going to work. I was so skeptical. All this stuff that I had done before, the things you see out on the internet, and I was so skeptical, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna give myself 21 days, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll return it, and I'll move on. But I went in 21 days, and I lost 14 pounds in my first round of 21-day fix, and I absolutely fell in love. From somebody who did not know how to cook, burn water, literally, I probably still do, but like I loved it, and I fell in love with our challenge groups, and I was put into this group with amazing people that I connected with, and then my coach quit the month after, and I knew nothing about the business. She never talked to me about the business. She never told me, hey, there's a way you can make income. Now, when I think back, I'm like, if she would have told me this from day one, talking to somebody who was living in a 1-bedroom, living this lifestyle that we were living, that extra income would have changed my life, right? But she didn't. She never actually talked to me about that. I feel like now she probably is like kicks herself in the butt that she quit, because I swear to you, I was that person that the minute I realized that I could help someone with this, I took full advantage. And that was in month 2. So month 2, I was already posting on Instagram, not because I wanted to sell this to anyone or make a business. I simply wanted to stay accountable. And I was like, if I put it out in the world, people know they're gonna know that I'm doing this program. I have to stick to it. And that's always been my mindset. So if that's something that's stopping you, you're not sharing it because you're not wanting people to see and stay accountable, that's the only way you guys are going to keep accountable with this. And that's in everything, because there's going to be ups and downs within this business, and your own, your own story with the programs and what you're doing, that you have to put it out there, even when you fall off, okay? Because you got to show people that you are real. And so I put it out there. I didn't have many followers. I had about like 700 followers, and those 700 followers were like fellow moms that had kids around the time. And it was really when like Instagram was kind of starting to grow with like, the mom groups and like all the cute clothes for little kids and the mom shops. It was really at that time where it was starting to grow. And I just started sharing it. Month 2, someone came to me and said, I want to do what you're doing. And I was like, okay. I had no idea how to sign this person up. I had no idea what I was doing, but I Googled it. I didn't wait for someone. I didn't sit there and say, well, I don't know how. I don't have a coach. Let me just sit here and like not do anything. No, I Googled it. And I found a link, and it was the wrong link. I sent her 21 Day Fix Extreme, and she bought it. And I didn't know what to do with her next. And I just remember asking like an upline coach that was in my challenge group and saying, what do I do with her? Like, do I just show her what I've done? And she was like, well, you can add her to our challenge group. And I was like, okay. So I started learning and it was intriguing, but I didn't believe that I could actually do this. But then month 3 comes around and like 2 more people ask me. And then by month 3, I had already lost 30 pounds with 21 Day Fix. And so I was like, my family members were asking me, I was staying consistent, I was showing it. And by that time, I had not actually paid out of pocket for my Shakeology because I had been signing up 2 people a month. Honestly, the biggest thing for me has always been consistency. And I can honestly tell you that from day 1, when I started posting my transformation and my journey, I have never gone MIA. That thought of I'm annoying my followers, I'm annoying my family, or what are people going to think had to go out the door so quickly, because at the end of the day, nobody was paying my bills. Nobody was having to live that life that I was living, driving in my car every day. So all of that had to go out the window when I decided to do this. And so I was, trucking along. I kind of was hitting, like I hit Emerald and I was like, okay, I don't know what that is. I signed up to coaches. And then like next thing you know, 4 months later, I'm like, you know what? I think I get this. And then 6 months into the business, January 2016, I went to my very first Super Saturday. So if you've never been to one, you guys have to go to these, events in person. That event completely changed my life. January 1st, I went to my very first event. I took 4 of my coaches with me, which these 4 coaches were like my close friends. They said yes to whatever I told them to do, and they came. And I remember seeing this mom up there. She was one of like the top coaches at the time. I don't remember her first name. I think her name was Brittany. She like lived in Orange County or something. But she went from like no coach to top 10 coach in a year. And I was just sitting there like in awe. And I was like, hold on, you're making how much money? You're doing what? And I was like, this is real. And the feeling of like, I was doing this side by side with other women. They were losing. I had already lost 50 pounds at that time. My other girl that had signed up with me had lost 50 pounds. And the passion in me just kept like growing and growing. And I was like, I could really do this. I'm not doing anything special. I'm literally just showing up on a daily basis. No excuses whatsoever. If I was on the road, wherever I was, I always showed up. And it was unconventional. I was doing workouts at midnight. I was doing workouts at 4 a.m. I was meal prepping. I was doing all of that and I was staying consistent. And literally I was like, okay, I can do this. Like this light bulb just turned on and I was like, I'm going all in and I'm going to do my first challenge group. I didn't do my first challenge group for like 6 months when I started coaching. I was so scared to like fly away is what I call it. And I tell my coaches like, you guys got to fly away. I don't know how you guys do your challenge groups, but for me, my coaches usually start off doing their challenge groups with myself. And then but some of them get very comfortable and they're like, oh, Paula, are you doing another group? And I'm like, it's your business. Like you want this to grow and you want it to see what it can actually do. You got to fly away. You got to take full responsibility for your business. And that's what I decided to do. I was like, you know what? At that time, the girl that she was like my second upline coach, and we were doing challenge groups with her. She had over 400 people in these challenge groups, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, I was literally doing all the work for her at one point. Like she wasn't even responding to her own challengers, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take my 50 challengers from your 400 challengers and put them in my own group. And so I decided that's it. I am going to branch out. I am doing my own thing. And that's where my Team No Excuses came about. I was able to see how this business could actually grow. You guys, I was working 8 to 5. Like I said, I was literally doing this in the cracks of time. So if you're a full-time working mom, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you guys know you got to do this in cracks of times. But those moments that you work have to be intentional. And I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but I mean it. That power hour list that you have, and I'm sure Samantha has them for you guys, you gotta make them happen. I'm such a list person that for me, I was like, especially when the first year when I went all in, my husband was so pissed. He was like, what are you doing? You're working nights and days. And every time I would just turn and be like, I'm doing this for us. Like, it's going to pay off. I know it's going to pay off. Like, we're going to move. At that time, I had no credit. We had no savings. I had no idea how I was going to move my family out of there and closer. And I was just like, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And every month and every person I signed up, I was like, I signed someone up and I know they're going to be amazing. And like, I see this growing. It's going to happen. But man, did I have to sacrifice. Man, did I have to do things at times that I didn't want to, especially that mom guilt. And if you're a mom, you understand, like, that mom guilt is for real. But my mom guilt, and what pushed me even harder, was every morning when I had to drop off my son at daycare. That was my push every morning. My son was being literally raised by his daycare giver 10 hours a day. And I was like, I can't. And every day when I would drop him off and pick him up and he would call me Martha instead of mom, I was like a crush to my ego, but then also lit a fire under my ass to get up and work when he was sleeping, to get up and work when I didn't want to show up and I could be watching TV, but I knew that I could build this business. And that's literally what kept me going and going. And you guys, I'm just going to say, like, you're going to hear this a million times, but if you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, consistency. No, I mean it. People build trust, and this business is going to grow when people trust you that you're going to show up every day. And I will tell you now, it's been 3 years since I started this. There has not been 1 month that I go MIA. If I go on vacation, I let people know I'm going on vacation. You have to treat this like a business. I remember hearing a story, and one of the coaches said, this is your business. It's like a storefront. If you actually owned a storefront business, you wouldn't just close for the week and go MIA, because your business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 p.m., right? You wouldn't just go MIA for a week and then show up and open your store the following week and expect that your customers are actually going to know when you're available. It's exactly what you're doing with your social media. It's exactly what you're doing with you going out and showing that this is your business. When you take full responsibility and you're saying, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to be available for my challengers, you got to make that happen, and you got to set those expectations with people, and they got to know that you're going to be available. Now, you guys, it has been, I don't know, like 35 months that I've been in SC10. All this year, I've been SC20 plus. People know that I'm going to host a challenge group every single month. And sometimes my coaches go, well, I just don't, like, they think it's been easy. No, it's been 3 years of consistency of them knowing that every month I'm going to host a challenge group. And I have people ask me now in October, when's your challenge group for November? Because they already know that I'm going to host one. Like, that all comes with time. That all comes with you showing up, that building that trust with people, and the power of follow-up. Because when you follow up with people, you are letting people know that they were not just a one-time, let me see if she's going to buy this, that it really is you showing that you are really, legitimately wanting to help them. And so I have a list ongoing, and this is what I do on a daily basis. I have a list of like over 500 people that I could follow up from right now. And so, like, for example, my challenge group just started today. I had one start last week. And so my goal for the next 2 weeks is that I'm going to work on my follow-up list. So I had so many people that I talked to that didn't do it. But I'm at SC16. I got the rest of the month to hit, my SC20 goal and to fill up my November group. And I'm going to host a sneak peek at the end of the month. And I'm going to filter all of those follow-ups. And follow-ups don't have to be hard. If you in your head and your mindset think, oh my gosh, I'm bugging someone, guess what? That's what they're going to feel. Everything that you feel when you send a message, when you follow up with someone, that it literally, even though it's just a message, I feel like you can feel that, like if you're not sending that message confidently, people can feel that. So when you send that message like, hey girl, I know you wanted to start this last month and you were really excited and you wanted to lose 20 pounds, always remind them of what they tell you, because then they know that you were listening, okay? and I hope you're listening, and I hope you're taking notes when you are talking to people, and remind them, I know you wanted to start, I have another challenge group next month. Let me know if you're interested. It doesn't have to be difficult, and you can run through follow-ups. Like, I could do 100 follow-ups in a day, and that is where the money comes. And if you haven't listened to, sales trainings on follow-ups, you guys know that literally it takes 5 to 6 to 7 follow-ups sometimes to make a sale. And I have challengers that haven't started until a year to 2 years after they followed me. But you can't stop following up unless someone tells you, please take me off your list and leave me alone. You don't stop, okay? If they say, yeah, thank you, guess what? That is still permission for them to go on your follow-up list for next month. So that's a huge tip of mine for you guys. You should be having a running list. You should be following up with people. You should be doing all of that. And I like how you said that your team is like super close knit, because so is mine. My team, like my successful coaches, all came from my challenge groups. My challenge groups are everything. Like my really good coaches all had amazing results. And so I honestly, as a coach, I focus on that. There's coaches out there that focus on recruiting these working coaches, and like that's kind of their thing. I feel like I focus more on really having people get those amazing life-changing results and fall in love with Beachbody, because those are the people that are going to go out there and talk with that passion. I have 2 coaches on my downline who have lost over 100 pounds. I have a handful of coaches that have lost over 50 pounds. And I'm telling you guys, like my team, when we talk about certain things, I can hear the passion in them. I have seen people go from like one whole person and maybe lost like 5 pounds to their confidence and everything just radiating. And so I focus a lot on making sure that my challengers have amazing results their very first challenge group. And when I see that light, when I see that they're going off for it, I will then join, invite them into the coaching opportunity. And that's kind of how I grow my coaches. A lot of my coaches are also full-time working moms, parents. And so we kind of do grow a lot with that. And I relate a lot to that, because it took all the little cracks and times in my day to make this happen. But my biggest thing is like these little sacrifices that you guys are making now are going to pay off so much. Because for me, I worked so freaking hard. I went in literally a whole year. All of last year, 2017, I did not stop. 2016, we were able to pay for our wedding, like cash. We got married in Cabo. I was able to save. And then at the end of 2000, oh my gosh, I'm not getting my dates. 2017, last year in August, we moved. And so we were able to move like 75 miles closer. Like it was life-changing. I literally got like 5 hours of my life back on a daily basis. And then this year I was pushing and I was just like, what do I truly want? I was already matching my full-time income by January. And I was so freaking scared to take the leap, to say I quit, because I had been working for this company for 6 years. But at some point, you got to take that chance. And at some point, I literally just kept getting sign after sign. I would run into people, and people knew who I was on the street. Like random people were like, how's your business going? I'm like, how do you know about my business? And I literally, my husband was like, okay, it's time. Like you need to do it. You need to do it now. And you just need to go for it. And so like Samantha said, I quit my full-time job in August. But then we had to step back because they couldn't hire somebody to replace me. So I've been helping them, but it's been completely on my time. I have that taste of freedom of just literally being able to work on my time when I want to go in the office, not have to have that pit feeling of having to ask for PTO or sick time or do any of that, because it's paid off, you guys. It's been 3 years. And you know what? Maybe some other people have been in this for 3 years and they're completely advanced. Maybe you've been doing this for 3 years and you're like, well, I'm not there yet. There's been coaches that have done this for 7 years, and it takes them 7-8 years to hit that sweet spot. You don't stop. You don't stop because you believe in it and because you have passion for it. And if you're willing to continue to work for it, I promise you it will pay off. And I tell my coaches this all the time. I have like 5 new coaches that came in this month, and I was like, you cannot compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 10 because it's not the same. And you can't compare yourself to another coach or somebody that you see around you. You got to compare it to you yourself, and are you advancing in this? And when I look back and I see where I was July 2015 to now, heck yes, every single year was worth it in this business. Even when I missed goals, even when I did all that, like it was worth every single sacrifice and every single moment of me showing up no matter what. I think that's kind of what I have for you.
No, that was amazing. I'm like, yes, more. Your story is incredible. And, you know, in the moment, it probably is so hard. You know, you think about in that, 2015, when it was so hard and it's like, this is never going to get better. And that's when kind of where we all start in some ways, shape or form. You know, we start because we have dreams, we want things to be better, and you're in the struggle and you're like, this is never going to get better. Like, it's never going to happen. And then all of a sudden, and it's not like you have this moment and then you grow, but you have multiple moments where you jump a little ahead and you're like, oh, okay. And then you have to keep hustling and then you jump a little ahead. And so thank you so much for sharing. I do have a couple questions just really fast because I have been following you. So do you think that, like, because you are Instagram jam, like Instagram is her jam, you should follow her. And if you want tips or just, you know, like, it's good to get inspiration. I always tell the team, like, if you follow another coach and have inspiration, it's a good thing. If you follow another coach and have envy or comparison, it's not, then you need to unfollow. So, you know, certain people get you jazzed and excited that you get to be a coach like they do. And, you know, you're very much yourself on your Instagram stories. You talk, you share your life. And I think that's really important. But a lot of what I see you share on your feed are transformations. Do you feel like that is something that helps your business, or do you have like an algorithm? Like, do you try to share it once a week or a transformation every, you know what I'm saying?
So I there is a whole point around how I like share on social media and my stories. I really have kept, like, when I feel like I'm just like pushing challenge groups too much, or if I feel like I'm being too heavy on that, I kind of back off. And I really do share my life, where literally someone can come to me and be like, oh my gosh, Jackson is so big, I saw him do this. And sometimes a little freaky, and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I'm sharing too much information, because literally Jackson has like fans that I don't even know about. And so, you know, but at the same time, when people come to me, a lot of what I get is, I get you. Like, you're so damn busy. Like, if you could do this, I could do this. And so if you're inspiring someone in that way, like, you got to show them all of it. You got to show them the messy, the real, like all of it. Obviously, like, you got to have that business kind of mindset on too, because like I said, your Instagram and your stories and everything is still part of your business. So always be mindful. One thing that like irks me on the social media, and when I see like, you know, coaches come about, is like, maybe you're just trying to put something out there, but you didn't give it much thought. And so it's just like, I think people can feel that, because I can feel it. Sometimes I have coaches that just like put a story out there and I'm like, everything's misspelled. And I will like send them a message and be like, did you proofread that? Did you say, like, you know, it's still your business. You still got to make sure it's there. I do post transformation pictures at least once a week. Like, that's minimum, because I need people to know as they come. People creep on your Instagram. Okay. So like, obviously if you go on someone's Instagram, you're going to be able to see, and I want them to be able to scroll down like at least like 4 to 5 lines and be able to see what I'm about. One, fitness. You're going to see that I had a transformation. You're going to see that I'm married or have kids or whatever that is, that I work out. And then something fun, because I love to drink wine and I love to do that and go out. Like, I want them to see literally me in a nutshell in those first 4 lines on my Instagram. If you can't figure me out in those first 4 lines, I'm doing something wrong. If I'm going on someone's page and it's all fitness, I kind of get turned off and I'm like, all fitness. If it looks so perfect, I get turned off. Like, I want to be able to see like funny. I want to be able to see you. I want to be able to see, yeah, she's inspiring. She's doing something. Like, I want to see the whole story in like those first 4 lines. So maybe do a check on your Instagram and see like, what are those 4 lines? Like, if you were an outside person looking at your Instagram, would you be intrigued to actually click on that follow button? Okay, so that's a big thing. My Instagram stories, I kind of have a way of doing that too. I always, they kind of get a glimpse of all times of my day. And like today, for example, I had to go into the office, but I always do a morning post on my Instagram stories no matter what. Sometimes I'm like, I totally am like running into the office or I'm running into something and I'm like, I still gotta do, I swear to you, I'll be like 5 minutes late and I will still take a picture of myself outside of the office and do like a good morning post or something like on my Instagram stories. There's always a morning post. And I don't go MIA very long on my Instagram stories either. They're not very long, but I don't go like morning and then, oh, you see another post at night. No, I will find something, even if nothing interesting is happening in my day, which could happen to people. Like, I just posted my morning and then I posted what I was eating for lunch, which was like my meal prep. And then I think I started posting about, because I'm inviting to another challenge group. And then I kind of chatted with them right now at night. So I don't go MIA for my Instagram stories either. And normally I do like on Sundays, and people know that. Like, people know like Sundays I don't really post. Like, I might post if I'm on the couch like vegging or something, but like I really don't. And so that's also like staying consistent and figuring out like, all right, how am I going to share this stuff? And then right before my challenge groups too, like I know when I'm going to start inviting. I know when I'm going to start inviting. In my Instagram stories is huge. I'm sure you've heard this, but like polls, and to be able to like communicate and invite people through that. If you're not doing that now, you are missing out on tons of people who are never going to send you a message, but they might vote on a poll and ask you, you know. And sometimes you send, and I know my team, they're like, well, I'm sending all these messages and they're voting, but they're not responding. You keep sending messages. And I have people like that don't respond. And then I'll send a message and say, hey, I don't know if you got my last message. And then the third message, hey, I really don't want to bug you, but I see that you're opening them. I see that you're reading them, but you're not responding. And if you're interested, let me know. If you're not, I'll just take you off my list. And usually by the third time when I say that, they'll respond. And they'll say, you know, oh, I'm sorry. Or
yeah, that's, I said to someone, I don't know when, it's kind of a blur when the baby was born, but like, I did the like googly eyes. I was like, I see you're still watching my stories, like, because you're like, there are a few people who are like consistent watchers, and I was like, can I help you like with anything? Like, don't feel bad to ask, like, you know, I see you watching me every day. And I think that that's such a great point, that like sharing the little things, like you going to work, is really something that's so easy not to do, but when you do it, it just makes you relatable, because you're going to work and I'm going to work, and someone's like, oh my God, her shirt is cute, and I'm going to work too. And it's like, it's not the most deepest. Sometimes it's really deep things that connect us, and other times it's like, oh my gosh, she shops at Target and I shop at Target, and it's just the small things that just make the big difference. And anybody can stop. Or today I took my Praximum test, or I don't know what it is, stupid test. And I was running into the test, and I like took a boomerang of my feet, and I saved it, because when you walk into a testing center, you have to put your phone away right away. And then I just posted it when I got out. Like, sometimes it's not going to be perfect in regards to time, but I got it out there just 2 hours later. So, well, thank you. So does anybody else have any questions? Put anybody on the spot, but if we don't, then we will let you go. Is your team called tonight too?
no, we moved it to tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, team, no excuses. I was like, we have so many East Coast people, so they're all
falling asleep.
Sorry, yeah, no, they're hanging on the end of their chairs. But so if it's okay, we always do a picture at the end of our team calls. Totally. And a boomerang. So everyone, especially Brenna. Make sure you're smiling. Brenna's like a picture. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm like glowing. That needs to stop. This is how white I am. 1, 2, 3. And then we usually do a boomerang. So like shake your head or pump the air. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I will tag you. Thank you so much. And I did see you were already at SC16. Whoop whoop. So, but I'm excited to hustle like you did. And this team, we are going to be rocking it. We'll be high-fiving you. Are you going on the Success Club trip?
Yes.
Me too. I am. The whole fam bam.
We're taking Jackson too for the first time this year.
We'll be the crazy people that you're like, oh, they don't look like they're having very much fun. But I looked it up. There's a kids club. I was like, I'm not doing it if there's not a kids club, but there's a kids club. So, but because I saw you at in Mexico. We were at the I had been creeping you since then for sure. But you had posted, or I just know that something from the team page that because you got to go to the Elite Premiere party. Oh, yeah. And so then you had walked by. It kind of just, the stars aligned, and then you walked by me, and then I was like, oh, that's so exciting. So we will have to cheers with a tropical drink.
Definitely.
And all right. Well, thank you again so much. Seriously.
Yeah. All right. Bye, ladies.
Bye.